Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L coming in to talk about Mahouka. I think we're at like episode 6 or something. I think it might be episode 6, if not episode 5. Anyway, hey everyone, I'm recording this on Thursday. I'm pretty late. Mahouka's coming out on Saturday. I'm also hoping to do Danmachi today, but I don't know. It's been a really rough week in terms of just being busy. So that's why we have been delayed. The birds are in the background. They're having a great day. But yeah, we're going to get into the episode. We're going to do a top moment style review. So what I'm going to say here is that really, I enjoyed the episode. I know I've been talking to Black Fox, one of the commenters, a lot, and I really want to make this video worthwhile for him. Little bird, I want to make this video worthwhile for him, but at the same time, like I think this episode was good. And the reason for that, really, when you look at it, this episode essentially didn't do the things that the previous episodes had done. This episode was focused on essentially one major plot point, that being Valentine's Day. Great, that's absolutely great. We were able to stay locked in 1 or 2 days. We got development. It was mostly slow character development, but given where we are, this is roughly around the beginning of a new volume. I think that's totally fine. I think it's great that they took the opportunity to give us setup time and to just, again, slow down. It was a very welcome gift for this episode. That said, I do have something that I do want to talk about. When it comes down to the episode, I have one really dishonorable mention. And this one is also a really good talking point because this moment only really exists because the first 5 episodes were botched when it came to this particular moment. I don't know if you guys can guess. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with that first negative moment, and then we're going to go into the positives and talk a little bit more about the episode. And for the sake of funnies, I'm going to play it up as much as I can for that first bit because I have a lot of great jokes I thought up for this. So for me, my dishonorable moment, my dishonorable mention is really Lena's feelings at the end of the episode, right at the end, right before the Colonel comes in. I will say something about the Colonel. Very kind of the Colonel to be adhering to Japanese practice. I can see that she's wearing the inside shoes. Very kind of her. But yeah, no, really, Lena's feelings about Tatsuya. So, over the weekend, I also took the opportunity to go and just look at the volume covers for Mahouka. Because I like looking at the volume covers. It's a nice way of spoiling myself without super spoiling myself. And I was looking at it, and I see that Lena's in quite a few covers. So Lena is a technically important person. My issues here, when it comes to Lena, is that the anime is saying, hey, Lena has these feelings for Tatsuya. And I'm like, alright. But the thing for me is, this is an issue of the anime telling you something, but, well, telling me something, but at the same time, it's like, you haven't earned this, anime. I don't see it. I don't see it. You're telling me this girl has feelings for him? I don't see it. I disagree with you, anime. I think you're botching this. And I still hold on to that. When we look back at the first 5 episodes, what I see, and I've said this multiple times, is that Lena is being mishandled. There are so many spots with Lena that it just feels like the anime is choosing to just bash her in the knees. I don't know if it's some kind of weird Japanese bias against American superiority, but it's really odd. There's not a follow through with Lena that the other characters are benefiting from. For instance, in my perspective, Lena in episode 5 has a pretty traumatic thing happen. Because in episode 4, I'm being told that Lena cares about this girl that was at the college. I'm being told that they were friends. I'm being told, like, I see Lena getting excited about the fact that her friend's going to be coming to the school the next day. Okay, so there's some kind of emotional thing there. Episode 5, that friend dies. Episode 6, nothing. There's nothing about it. I don't see why I should care about Lena's superficial issues if the anime isn't willing to show Lena when she's having a relatively hard situation. And then with the way that the anime handles Tatsuya and Lena's everyday relationship, it just, there isn't a natural follow through. So really, when Lena's having that moment at the end of the episode, this is why I say that the first 5 episodes, this is what they built up to, a botch, when it comes specifically to Lena. And I don't want to screw you guys over. I went through the first 5 episodes again. I rewatched them at 3 times the speed because I'm not insane, and I just made I compiled the list because the anime is saying that Lena has feelings for Tatsuya, and I'm like, I don't see it, and I thought maybe I was crazy, so I went back. Allow me to read this for you. Lena's life with Tatsuya, episode 1. This is like all like the big moments between the two that really built us into this area where now Lena is infatuated. Episode 1, making eye contact with Tatsuya at a shrine where apparently Tatsuya smirked at her. I haven't seen Tatsuya smirk at anyone, but Lena says he did, so I'll believe her on that. She met him at lunch where he gently grilled her about her heritage. Then we find out that Lena was watched for a week by Tatsuya. Next, we have the flashback of Tatsuya grilling her during friendly lunch about her name. And then we have Tatsuya manhandling Lena after she attacked him and he teased her. Then episode 2, nothing. There's nothing in there. Episode 3 though, we have Tatsuya canceling her magic, and then we have Tatsuya canceling her magic again, but this time he strips her of her illusion that was fooling no one, but she looked really shocked, so that was worth pointing out. Episode 4, we again have Tatsuya disarming Lena when they're having their fight. Then we have Tatsuya getting on top of Lena after bodying her and strips her of her mask. So I guess Tatsuya's like he really is going in there, like really removing articles of clothing here. Tatsuya and Lena agree to a competition, after which he lets his sister beat her up. I guess it was more of a it was a more fair fight, but yeah, you get it. Anyway, then we have Tatsuya interrogating her because she was being kind of difficult. She didn't want to give everything away. You know, you really shouldn't be giving everything away on the first date, I guess. Another moment in episode 4 was Lena seeing the Miyuki Tatsuya moment and being weird about it. Spirit animal right there. And then we have episode 5 where Tatsuya calls Lena useless. That's it. That's all we have in terms of their interactions. So I think it's pretty clear. There is really only one conclusion that you can take away from this. Lena likes it rough. She's like pretty much one of those basic club girls who is going up to the guy who clearly has no interest in her. Like this poor man, he probably just wants to go home to his wife, but he's there at the club just because he's hanging out with his buddy, because his buddy just went and blackmailed him, emotionally blackmailed him into coming out for one night for once in a while. You know, just that kind of situation. That's the kind of energy that the anime is saying that Lena is giving off. She wants the guy that is just destroying her. And I guess you could say like, okay, because you know, Lena is like super strong. Maybe she likes a guy that makes her feel weak. You know what? If the anime wants to say that, that's cool, but I'm not gonna say that. But that seems to be what the anime is like, kind of like implying here with this collection of moments. Now, I'm gonna say that. See, I'm here to watch anime. I'm not here to watch realism. When I come in to watch an anime romantic story or a romantic build-up, I want to see something that doesn't happen in real life. I want to see a nice follow-through. I want to see a nice flow. I want to see a nice build-up. I want to see the nice slice of life moments. I don't want to see this girl getting bodied and being thrown on the ground and that somehow being the reason why she gets all tussled up on the inside. No, I don't need that. And similarly, I'm not here to watch a low-tier wish fulfillment power fantasy. I'm here to watch a high-tier wish fulfillment power fantasy, because that's what Mahouka is. Mahouka is a relatively well-written story. And when it comes to Lena, now we're moving away from the jokes here a little bit. When it comes to Lena, I know that Mahouka can do better. Why? Because in the Valentine's Day episode, ironically, we see better. Mayumi and Tatsuya, that's a wonderful little dynamic. Heck, man, like when Mayumi was talking to Jumanji and they had Tatsuya there, and Mayumi was telling Tatsuya, hey, can you come out with us? And then Jumanji's the one that's pretty much cock blocking there. It's like, yes, I can see that Mayumi legitimately likes him and is trying to get Tatsuya to spend more time with her. Yes, when I see her in episode 5 talking about her Valentine's Day plans, and when I see the follow-through of the Valentine's Day plans, which was really well done, it's like, yes, that's great. When I look at Shibata and old Mikihiko, when I see them, it's like, you're a subplot, but this is pretty cute. When I see him receiving the chocolate and I see him getting upset about the chocolate, it's like, yes, I see the follow through. When I see them in episode 5, yes, I see the follow through from the build up from the first season. When I look at, and man, believe me, as much as I cringe and as much as I throw up in the back of my mouth, Miyuki and Tatsuya, they had really strong moments in this episode. Everyone else in this anime is willing to be, well, everyone else in this anime is given really good moments. And what are we stuck with Lena? Well, you can actually see it in episode 1. The problem is, right now, it looks like Lena's slice of life moments are being ignored. And the proof is in episode 1 when Tatsuya says that they were watching Lena for a week. Here is the problem. Yes, you can tell me that they're actually spending every day together. You could tell me that. But as a viewer, I don't care because I don't know what to put in there. Tatsuya is calling Lena useless, and she's getting turned on from that, apparently. I don't know. I don't know the quality of their interactions when the anime is just telling me this, like, oh yeah, no, they hang out together. Like, for me, honestly, I don't understand how the strongest magician in the US military is just casually walking around with Tatsuya on their way to school. I think, there's a lot of gaps here, and they aren't being filled when it comes to Lena. And I think that's ultimately the worst thing about this. I would love to know how Lena is internalizing the stuff that's going on with the woman that just died. I want to know why her subordinate was removed from her, like, in detail, because I don't see the way in which the subordinate failed, because the anime isn't showing us enough of Lena's side of the story. So, actually, in terms of the writing, that gives the anime a way out, because if they don't like tell you the exact specifics of why someone got booted, no one can scrutinize it, which is like, all right, that's a fair move. Hide behind vagueness. That's legitimately a good move, I guess, but not respectable. Anyway, the point is, the anime wants to sell us on this idea that Lena likes Tatsuya. In any other low-tier power fantasy, a woman being beaten by a guy and then falling in love with him because she got beaten multiple times, and Lena, in her case, she was stripped in many ways, just not like fully stripped yet, but probably it'll happen eventually. What was I saying? Oh, well, I was gonna make the point. Yeah, I was gonna make the point that yes, any other anime romance through humiliating defeat would be fine, but here, where it's just where the majority of their interactions are them fighting and Tatsuya getting physical with her during a fight, when you have that as your majority of interactions and you top it off with calling her useless, it's like not the best. Not the best situation. Every other character gets a better treatment. I wish Lena got better treatment. That's ultimately it. I feel bad for Lena. To me, when I look at this, it really does seem to me like the anime adaptation staff are as emotionally stunted as Tatsuya is, which is a real achievement. They really need their own personal Miyuki. Like, maybe get Mari Okada in there, because she can write actual emotional turmoil a little bit better, or she can depict it a little bit better. Maybe get her in as a special consultant. I don't know, but pretty unfortunate. I guess for the anime staff, their spirit animal must be Tatsuya. Anyway, that's my rant for the first bit. Now we're going to top moments. So let's begin this proper. And I hope you guys enjoyed that rant. I really did my best to try and really bring out my ire and make it a little bit funnier. I think I was really on it with the club metaphors. Anyway, moving on. And before we begin top moments again, I do want to reiterate, this was a good episode in terms of construction. Yes, it's it's low energy, but I think it's in setup phase. This is the natural part of a light novel adaptation. I'm not concerned. But yeah, first top moment, Lena getting a new babysitter. So this was, to me, I'm just seeing this as a simple switching of the guard. Now, this leads into a moment where the lady talks about, or the colonel talks about, how it's not Lena's fault that she failed given her skill set. Now, this was a problem with my subs, but I don't like how vague they were. Because there were two missions up for grabs, right? There was a combat mission, which is chasing the parasites, and there's the infiltration mission. I know that the lady allows Lena to go back to her, the espionage mission, but I'm just wondering, like, which exactly was she talking about? Because when she's talking about failing, and it's not in her skill set, that doesn't sound like she's talking about the parasite pursuit, because it seems like that's Lena's skill set. You introduced Lena chasing after parasites in the first place, or chasing after rogue magicians. It was kind of vague. I appreciate, though, the fact that they are being reasonable with Lena. I would like to know why they weren't reasonable with the subordinate, because the subordinate seemed to be getting everything as well as she could. I saw no operational failure when it came to the subordinate. In fact, when you say that the subordinate wasn't doing a good job, it's like, yo, the subordinate is the only one making sure Lena doesn't stick out like a sore thumb, right? This is actually an interesting talking point. When you introduce a character as being the common sense in Lena's life, to then go out and say that this person is failing at their job, that sounds like, to me, a critical author audience failure. That sounds like, to me, where the author needs a particular situation to come out and isn't adhering to the reality of the situation. TV Tropes calls this an informed quality. It's like, the best example would be if the author's narrative is always saying like, oh man, this character is so strong because like everyone in the world always talks about how strong this character is, but then when readers see it, it's like, no, this guy has lost every single battle that we've ever seen, right? It's that kind of conflict when the author is pushing for a reality that the readers or viewers can't see. I think it's a good talking point. I would love to have had that more fleshed out, but I know that's going to be locked in the light novel. The big thing that I'm happy about is that we have a cycling of the characters. That's new designs, and I like again that they are acknowledging that Lena wasn't well predispositioned to something. Moving on, my next top moment was the anti-magician propaganda talk and the 7 Sages info drop. So really interesting how much coverage that particular part got. I enjoy the world building, so definitely a top moment for me. Next funny top moment was Miyuki's obsession with Tatsuya. This is happening right when Tatsuya gets a Valentine gift from one of his superiors. Okay, look, again, Miyuki definitely makes me cringe, especially in this episode where she's like always like side-eyeing people or just giving like really bad look. Like she gave the lady a bad look, she gave Tatsuya's teacher a bad look when Tatsuya's teacher was giving constructive criticism. It's like, Miyuki, calm your shit down. No one likes a woman who is this obsessed. I don't know, maybe that's a Japanese male fantasy, given how prominent that kind of trope is in Japan. But you know, that kind of person isn't worthwhile, man. Like that kind of person's gonna drive you crazy. But it's still pretty funny. Seeing Miyuki give those side-eye glances is pretty funny. Seeing the atmosphere change, it's pretty funny. I like how quickly the anime does it. But again, really cringe, really cringe. Moving on to something that is usually cringe in real life, it's Lena third wheeling, but for me it was funny. Lena saying that she was third wheeling because it's just, again, like, Lena's my spirit animal. It's like, yes, call it out, like say it out loud, because this is just ridiculous. I mean, even knowing what I know, it's still like, all right. I really enjoyed that moment for Lena. My next top moment was the entire Mayumi subplot. So I'm really happy that they had time for this. I'm really happy that this thing got time in a previous episode to build it up. They gave us a really good cause and effect as to why Mayumi wanted to screw over Tatsuya, and the music for the scenes of the chocolate, the best thing in the world. I really love that. I think they pulled that off so well. I'm not expecting the moon here, but look at this level of quality. Mayumi has less scenes than Lena, and she has a much more compelling plotline. She has the follow through on Mayumi is significantly better. This is what Lena desperately needs. Mayumi's story this entire time, I can see the full cause and effect relationship. It starts off with Mayumi bringing in Tatsuya. Tatsuya loads off all the work on her. She gets upset because it feels like she's being used. She's thinking, alright, I'm gonna screw this guy on Valentine's Day, and that plays into the little bit of attraction that the two characters have. Of course, I am biased. I like the Mayumi Tatsuya ship, but on paper, this is better than Lena, even though Lena has so much in previous episodes. Again, the problem is, like, Lena, she spends too much of her screen time locked in battle. When you had Lena legitimately pulling out of school, that is the manifestation of the fact that Lena wasn't being treated well. My next top moment was Honoka's moment because it was really cute, and the link to the parasite. So I'm actually really interested in that phenomena. I want to know what exactly Honoka did that caused the parasite in the robot to awaken. That was really interesting. I don't know anything. I don't remember there's any kind of clue in the first season as to the capacity for Honoka, but I liked it. I think this is a really good example of putting in a long-term plot element and slipping it in a slice of life segment. Moving on, my next top moment was Mikihiko being upset about the chocolate and Shibata. So I thought this was really cool. Again, the anime can tell a story without dialogue when they choose to. I mean, with Tatsuya it's a little bit difficult because Tatsuya doesn't emote, but Mikihiko getting the chocolate, seeing his friends got a chocolate and getting upset and just getting flustered, I think that was great. You can clearly tell what was going on. The guy wanted Shibata to give him a chocolate. He wanted to be the special one. He wanted to know that there was something going on. I think that was really cute. Next up, my next top moment was the parasites having hive mind. So here's a funny thing about Mahouka, is that Mahouka will talk about theories. It will tell you that Tatsuya doesn't really know for sure. He puts it out as a possibility, but unfortunately, because of the way that adaptations have to go down, and because of the way that adaptations slim down superfluous detail, There is only like a 10% chance that Tatsuya is incorrect about the parasites having shared consciousness, because by the nature of an adaptation, they can't afford to waste time. If Tatsuya is putting out a theory, that theory is most likely correct. So it's just funny to see them still play around with the idea that Tatsuya is not sure. But it's like anything that Tatsuya says is true. That's just how that goes. Unless we're going into unreliable narrator, but I've never seen Tatsuya do that. Or I don't recall him doing that. So when it comes to him flat out putting out theories, the theories are more likely to be correct than anything else. I just thought it was funny. My next thought moment was Tatsuya totally seeing the satellite. I think that was just a really pro move. I think that was great. I think it was super funny. I love that the colonel's already like, ah, yeah, he couldn't see that satellite. And it's like, yo, this is the man that caused Scorched Halloween. And you're thinking, like, I don't know, man. I don't know why you people keep saying he's just a high schooler when he's your #1 target. I don't know what Lena's also trying. Like, I don't know what Lena's purpose in all this is anymore. Like, you got beaten in a fight. This is another thing, actually. Lena, I would love to know how much information the rest of the commanding brass of the military is getting from Lena. How much information is she sharing with them? That's like what I really want to know. But again, the anime doesn't tell me, so I'm just confused. I am legitimately confused as to what Lena's mission in all this is. Because like Lena walking from school to home with Tatsuya isn't going to give anyone any new information, right? It's not like all of a sudden Tatsuya's going to be like, oh, yo, I got my sniper rifle. I'm going to blow you up in the rest of Japan. That isn't going to happen. How are you going to see anything about him? It's pretty nonsensical. I don't think the Americans are very smart. And I think that's what the Japanese author wants to say as well. It's just he treats, like, I don't know, man. Oh, you know, I should probably stop that joke. I probably shouldn't be talking about two countries that are very... I probably shouldn't be making fun of the patriotism between two countries. Anyway, my final top moment, and this is really unusual for me, it's Miyuki's final lines in the episode. So, you know, as much as I dislike the Tatsuya Miyuki stuff, because at the end of the day, I don't care. Even if it comes out that they're not siblings, I don't care. They're raised as siblings. It's pretty gross. It's pretty squick. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. It's a gross dynamic. I know that Japan had a thing with this for a while, but it's a gross dynamic. But at the same time, that's personal bias. When I look at the way that Miyuki was expressed in the final moment, it was adorable. Like her moment of saying that she wished she wasn't his brother, or sorry, she wished she wasn't his sister, and then realizing what she had just said out loud, and then like the nice way that the anime animated that. Yeah, that was really pretty. Like I can respect that kind of idea. I can respect the little bit of a struggle, as much as I disagree with it all the way to the moon. That was still nicely done, and again, the presentation for it, I think that was adorable. Again, Miyuki makes me cringe a lot, and no matter how this shakes out, at the end of the day, they were raised as siblings. Like it's too much for me, honestly. Not my favorite thing, but I can appreciate the artistry in the build-up. Like again, that was a really vulnerable moment for her, and the idea that she realized this. Like, she realized it after she had said it. I think that's really what sold it for me. I think it was a nicely constructed moment. If you strip away the context and just, like, switch out the lines a little bit, like, the whole way it was animated would have still been, I think, really worthwhile. I think definitely a highlight. So, guys, let me know what you thought down below. I hope this video was entertaining for you as it was for me. I'm glad I finally got time to do it. And, Black Fox, I hope you got a laugh. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.